Hey guys, welcome back to another video where today we are back in Subnautica and we are going to do more PDA reading. We're almost done with this series. We're really close to done with it. I pretty much just said that, but let's get to a place where there isn't much noise. My base.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Here we go, a nice view. I think. Okay. Hopefully that will stop. Go to indigenous life forms, fauna. And we're starting back at herbivores small. Here we go, bladderfish. This unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless and bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. It's a semi-permeable bladder. That's what it has. The bladderfish is able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulate caught on the way and adjust its buoyancy. Fun fact, this thing was actually called an air sac before, instead of a bladderfish. Weird, huh? Open-ended vascular tubing can be angled to be and contracted to pump out water and achieve low velocity guided propulsion. Largely oblivious to threats and practically immobile at night, it's only identified defense mechanism is that it is composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. Assessment: edible. Oxygen may be retrieved from the bladder and added to tanks on consumption. I didn't know that actually. Membrane has applications as a natural water filter. And now we got a boomerang. This weird creature right here. So, and this thing is a herbivore encountered in large numbers, found to frequent shallow waters and move in schools. It has serrated teeth for some reason, such as adaptation for grinding corals and other herbivores. Grinding corals, other herbivores are unable to digest. So, I mean, here's a quick thing. Here's a quick example. Just because it has sharp teeth doesn't mean it's a meat eater, like the panda. Twin fins. Unusually, this species' two fins are cartilaginous extension of its skeleton. They are less prone to damage and provide superior propulsion, but are also harder to grow back. Hey, Phantom Leviathan, how you doing? The bright blue tips are in fact the ends of its digestive tract, where the luminescence of the corals it consumes is most focused. Most active during daylight hours and prone to flee on approach, the boomerang can more easily be observed at night when its luminescence gives it away and seeks the shelter of the seabed. Assessment: edible. Wow, this thing really wants attention. This crazy Phantom Leviathan. Now, a lesser known Subnautica species, the eye. An extreme adaptation where 90% of the life form's body mass is dedicated to the ocular cavity. That makes no sense. Why would 90% of a creature's body mass be dedicated to being the eye socket? Just look at it, Dad. Oh my gosh. Showing my dad this. Oversized eyeball, you think? Deep set rings in the lens suggest specialization for identifying its predators in low light environments, long before they come into attack range. Well, that's a good adaptation, but what about it? Where does its heart go? Its brain. What is it, brain inside of its eye? Okay, underdeveloped fins. You think? Incapable of fast movement, this species is vulnerable to agile predators at close range. Shark species may have evolved hunting techniques to close on the eye unseen from above, below, or behind. The organism and the common peeper, share a common ancestor. No, it doesn't. While the eye has sacrificed maneuverability, it shares and enhances its cousin's powerful eyesight. What is the Phantom Leviathan turning upside down for? Hold on. What? I gotta see what's going on with this thing. Hold on. What? It's just frozen. It's literally just frozen. That is weird. Alright, well that's what he gets for photobombing. Moving deeper underground. Look at this weirdo go. Alright. This organism in the common peeper show. Alright. There you go. Okay. It's one of the first life forms on here to develop eyesight. Edible, low calorie count. Hoopfish. Look at this weird thing. Weird but cool. Small school mentally prey fish. Okay. With a unique method of propulsion. I almost broke my microphone, but okay. I'll make sure it's still working because yeah, I want to make sure this isn't broken. Antennae, rather than swimming, it's a distant relative of the bladderfish. Okay. Antennae, rather than swimming, this life form uses its fine green antennae, which encircle its body, to alter the composition of the water in front of it, allowing it to sail into the low-density space created. So it uses its antennae to disturb the water. What the heck? To disturb the water to make it go into the automatically go into the low density area. That's really cool. Purple green coloration, maybe a camouflage adaptation for mid-range light wavelengths, possibly indicating the hoopfish is more active at dawn and dusk. Behavior, while schools of hoopfish will form periodically and evade predators and hoopfish, not poopfish. My dad thought I said poopfish. This behavior is more social than it's defensive. The lone hoopfish are often found hunting for food and displaying generally curious behavior. Assessment, edible. Every one of these things are edible. Alright, hoverfish. Every one of those small herbivores, I think, are edible, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. A small, cautious herbivore, commonly found in kelp-rich environments. Charged foot pads, 6 unique limb appendages, feature charged pads capable of ionizing the surrounding water. The hoverfish uses this ability to maintain its position against the current as it feeds from kelp and lichen, or lichen, that's what it's called. Assessment, edible, I think so. Magma ring. Oh no, it doesn't have a picture of one. I'll show you one after we read. This organism is an adaptation of the common boomerang, evolved to survive in high temperature environments. So, no, it adapted to survive in high temperature environments. Things adapt. They don't, not that, but they don't evolve. And honestly, that's pretty high for adapting. So honestly, no, they're wrong. It's an entire new species, you fools. What are you doing? Okay, I'm done. Coloration. Dark red coloration helps this subspecies to blend into igneous rock environments. Orange detailing resembles active lava flow, deterring more cautious predators. Behavior, marginally bolder than its shallow dwelling cousins, the boomerang. Boomerang will nonetheless flee any creature larger than itself with impressive speed. Assessment still edible. Now I'm going to show you what a magmarang looks like. I'm stuck. Alright, so I'm going to come into the water. Then I'm going to type in spawn magmarang. Oh, I did it. Oh, no, I didn't. What is it spelled like again? Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. How about this? Item. How about this? Spawn mag. Spawn. Oh my gosh, I hate you, Subnautica. Biome lava zone.
Passing 100 meters.
I'm just gonna find it and show you.
Decreased. Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency.
All right, here it is.
Decreased.
Here this thing is. Oh, red eye. Did I scan you? Yes, I did. The music is too much. Warp me.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Well, for a second I thought I was still in the lava zone. Can you tell me we're down at the lava zone, please? Thank you. Oculus. This thing is found in the jelly shroom biome, actually. It's very interesting, actually. This specimen shares genetic similarities with the common peeper, while the shallows and their cave systems are separated by just a few meters of rock. Foodstuffs and threats in each biome are completely different. It's possible a small school of peepers was once cut off in the caves, and the Oculus species is how they adapted. Okay, I'll go with that. Highly developed night vision. See assessment edible at the bottom. Crazy. Highly developed night vision. Large complex eyeballs provide the herbivore superior vision in the dark and intense phobia of light? Intense fear of light? That's weird. Alright. What was that? Lack of beak. While the peeper uses beak to break down corals, down tough corals, the Oculus likely feeds on the soft fungal growths of the jelly shroom caves and thus has no need of one. Separated tail fin. Look at that. That's so weird, isn't it? The caves in which the Oculus lives makes it hard to escape from fast predators. The Oculus has adapted by splitting his tail fin into 5 separate tendrils. These tendrils prevent it from swimming as fast as its shallow water cousin, but can be detached and regrown, enabling it to escape more easily when caught. Perfect. Assessment edible. Of course, we know it's your boy the peeper. Fast prey fish encountered in shallow waters and rich in protein. Developed side-facing eyes, capable of discerning colors, not just in shallows waters, but in variety of lighting conditions. It is also able to close its eyelids thus preventing the light from reflecting off the lenses and rendering the peeper almost invisible to nighttime predators. That's why it always has its eye closed at nighttime. That didn't happen though in original Subnautica, which is kind of weird. So that's cool. Powerful fins. The species has developed from birth. Powerful fins, which enable rapid acceleration in still water and the ability to leap meters into the air to avoid pursuers. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't believe me with my worldview. It's just I believe the Bible. Simple. This species has powerful fins, which enable rapid acceleration in still water and the ability to leap meters into the air to avoid pursuers. Beak likely used to break down corals and tough vegetation. An unusually large nasal cavity. Okay. Appears to be okay. Has no obvious purpose and appears to be has a speciality to detect a single specific enzyme. Nothing encountered on the planet so far produces a matching odor. Okay. What was that? So I guess that's enzyme 42. I mean, yeah. But when you scan the peeper, they don't expect you to have already found out what enzyme 42 is. Expulsion tubes. By the way, you guys know. Nah, there's no spoilers. It's just, you know. The tubes attached to the peeper's torso are connected directly to the stomach and gills and appear to be designed to expel its contents on demand. Purpose unclear. Okay. So that right there, or is that its gill? I really don't know. Okay. Anyway, while the peeper is well adapted to survive in shallow waters, a number of its features have no discernible purpose, so appear to be just as well suited to survive in deeper waters and somewhat more intelligent than the usual small herbivore. Excuse me, Leviathans, I'm trying to read. Assessment edible, calorie count for the research required. I go my. Can you shush, guys? Can I enter my Cyclops and have them shut up? I bet you not. More likely not than so. To my escape pod. That didn't work too well, did it? That worked. Ah, peaceful it is above the water. Red eye. You guys already saw that, so go back if you want to see it again. A small herbivorous creature with poor maneuverability evolved, oh my gosh, to inhabit high temperature environments. Thermal camouflage, deep red and orange coloration enabled the subspecies to blend into volcanic environments and reflect environmental thermal energy, thus rendering it almost invisible to most predators. Thermal vision, delicate light-based eyesight is impractical at these temperatures, and the red eye has to develop thermal vision and its in its place. In this species' volcanic domain, edible plant matter and potential predators are the coldest entities in range. Okay. Edible, low calorie count. So far everything we've done in the herbivore small is edible. Here we go. Reginald, a small herbivore and a distant relative to the common peeper. Sharing that species, well-developed side-facing eyes, approximate size, and body profile. So that's somehow like a peeper. And you mostly find these things in the grassy biomes, so yeah. Coloration, dull green coloration for deep water camouflage. Luminescent tail coloration, likely part of mating behavior. Okay. Don't really understand that. Oh yeah, because it looks pretty to mates. It looks pretty for the ladies. Okay. I'm serious though. That's what it probably is for. Diet filters algae and other plant matter from the water via 4 gill-like forward-facing orifices. Assessment edible, again, high calorie count, and it's also high calories, which is, so you will want to eat Reginald's or Peepers most of the time. So here we go, Spadefish, edible, again. Look at this thing's weird teeth. What is it with small herbivores and their crazy eyes? Anyway, a medium-sized herbivore found in deeper waters. Single eye observed swimming near to the seabed, where it can keep one eye on its predators in the water above it. Okay. Mottled green coloration. Commonly encountered in plant-rich environments, and the spadefish is well adapted to hide amongst the vegetation. Behavior. Spadefish tend to move in loose shoals, and despite their low speed, will take necessary measures to avoid confirmed predators. Assessment edible again. And the spinefish is edible too. Now this creepy thing is found in blood kelp and I think the Lost River. Small school mentally prey fish, closely related to the hoopfish. Don't usually see it. Gray coloration. The combination of near translucent appearance, translucent flesh with white rib-like markings gives the fish a deathly appearance. I'm so stupid. It takes advantage of this to avoid the attention of its predators. So it's really weird, huh? Man, that thing's creepy. Behavior moves in schools for protection, but will disperse and flee if necessary. Or on those fortunate enough to escape the gaze of their assailants will make the seafloor and hide amongst the detritus, whatever that is. And edible low calorie count. Now, calorie count. Ghost Leviathan. I like to call it the Phantom Leviathan. Look at its danger thing. And we've seen this many, many times. And we've probably actually seen the Leviathans the most in this series. Crazy, huh? Because ever since hashtag I Ride Leviathans, they've been chilling around the surface ever since. Okay. And hashtag I Ride Leviathans was a long time ago as well. Man, I love that. I got flung all the way from like a little bit back there before the Neptune was here. All the way to over there. In Bone Shark territory. It's craziness. Anyway. Let's continue reading this. Well, let's start reading this. This creature is approaching the size limit for sustainable organic life forms and has been designated Leviathan class. Adults of this species have been encountered exclusively around the edges of the volcanic crater, which supports life on the part of this planet, and react with extreme aggression on approach. Look at its hammerhead shaped like, kind of like a hammerhead shark. Cartilaginous extensions of the creature's skull form a hammerhead, which protects the Ghost Leviathan as it performs the devastating ramming attacks. Jaws, while fully capable of tearing through the flesh of any creature in range, all evidence indicates that mature Ghost Leviathans feed on microscopic life forms in the water around the edges of the inhabited zone. Their vicious attacks on interlopers and to their domain are not predatory in nature, but territorial. A creature so vast requires a huge expanse of water to satisfy its daily calorie requirements. In torso, its muscled interior body is surrounded by a translucent outer membrane, suggesting adaptation for deep, low-light environments. When threatened, it can tense its entire body before lashing out with incredible speed. That's crazy. Life cycle. Probable migratory behavior. This specimen was likely born far from the area where it was encountered. Extreme threat. Avoid the crater edge, which is the dead zone. And also, let me see. It also is, like, remember we saw it in the Lost River once, and I think it actually is spawned, like, you know, like born from the Lost River tree originally in the story. Man, look at this Reaper Leviathan. Look at its teeth. Look at it grabbing a sea moth. It's terrifying. Leviathan class species are vast organisms at the top of their respective food chains. This species is a streamlined hunter with highly developed senses, powerful mandibles on the front. I think it's like the big claws. That's why it's called a Reaper Leviathan. This Leviathan is capable of locking prey in place with 4 powerful mandibles and drawing it within reach of the jaws. Simulated pressure exceeds Seamoth crush resistance. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Echolocation. The deep roar emitted by the Reaper at regular intervals is effectively sonar. If you can hear it, the Reaper can see you. Oh my gosh. That's terrifying. Okay. Also, profile. Scanned specimen measured 55 meters long. Observe circling its prey and attacking from behind. This creature is almost all muscle, very little brain, no sense of morality. Just muscles, synapses, and teeth. So, yeah, I remember getting jumped from behind. I was in my Seamoth. Terrifying. Motivational note. Congrats on getting close enough to scan it and, congratulations on getting close enough and scan it and living to see the results. That's insane. Extreme threat. Avoid in all circumstances. Reefback Leviathan? That's not a Leviathan. You gotta be kidding me. That's just a large herbivore. This vast life form is in excess of 30 meters long and has been designated Leviathan class. Fortunately, it feeds exclusively on plankton-like organisms in the water. I maybe think that Leviathan just means a very big creature. You know, I actually forgot to scan a floater. BRB. That reminds me. Wait, did I? Let me check that real quick. Floater. Yep, I forgot. Just real quick. But I haven't forgot to do the ancient one. I just forgot to do the normal one. So I need to go to my base real quick. To get that floater and scan it. Alright. This thing's weird. Okay, I'm gonna come up here a little bit. Go in here and let it rip. And scan it. Scan the floater. Scan the floater! It's bouncing. Yeah. Ba 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 ba. I want the music to stop though. Alright. This vast life form is excess of 30 meters long and has been designated Leviathan class. Fortunately, piece of, oh yeah, I already said that. Chitinous shell. Most of the top life form's top side, and some of its underside is protected by a thick layered exoskeleton. This suggests an evolution. Oh my gosh. Also, this is like an exoskeleton type. That's weird. Reefback species has likely been able to grow far larger than other herbivores because anything large enough to break through its shell has long since gone extinct. Enzyme pod. That's what that is? Similar in appearance to the algae glands of the gasopod. Yeah, it is. Okay. These organs are on the reefback's underside, serve some unknown purpose of digestive system, and are capable of expelling small quantities of stomach enzymes into the surrounding waters. Local microcosm. An array of different barnacle and plant species grow in the reefback shell, thrusting their roots into ancient scars in the chitin, and taking advantage of their mobility to avoid predation. Nonetheless, reefbacks are often pursued by the faster, hungrier herbivores, and thus the Leviathan species is a mobile microcosm worthy of years of study in itself. So, it's an animal that's a ecosystem too. All right. Life cycle reefbacks' lifespans are likely extend through many centuries should they survive their initial growth cycle. For the first few decades, their smaller size would make them vulnerable to carnivorous leviathans. Sociable, seen traveling in small pods and communicating by echoing call, behavior is consistent with a low-level sentience. Harbors plants, small fish, and metal-rich barnacles. Wow, it's already been 30 minutes, and we just barely done anything. Okay. Sea Dragon Leviathan. This thing is sure is terrifying. It's all the way at the top in the threat level. This thing's crazy. A colossal leviathan with reptilian features, seen stalking the very heart of the volcanic crater, which underpins life in its area. The scanned specimen is measured 112 meters in length. Heat-proof tissue. Tissue analysis reveals the specimen consists of one-third inanimate materials focused around the chest area. That's what that is? Consumption and retention of mineral substances may explain the life form's ability to withstand extremes of temperature. It even appears to be able to consume molten materials and expel them at its adversaries. That's insane. So that's what those crazy fireballs are? Evolution, oh my gosh. Distinct forearms are used both for propulsion and offensive purposes. Findings suggest divergence from other, oh my gosh. Sea dragon is likely one of the oldest species on the planet. The behavior as the largest carnivorous species encountered on 4546b, almost everything is potential prey, with few substantial targets in the volcanic cave systems. The sea dragon likely ventures out into cooler waters to hunt other smaller leviathans, cornering them and forcing them deeper where they are ultimately boiled alive. Oh my gosh! So it brings them into the deeper waters where all the fire and lava and stuff is, and puts them into and basically cooks them alive. My gosh! Sea dragon size and restrictions of the cave systems they inhabit suggest their population numbers are extremely low, perhaps in the single digits. While it is not unusual for larger predators to sustain lower populations, it is possible the sea dragon's food sources have diminished over time. The species may be nearing extinction. Wow. Extreme threat. Avoid in all circumstances. Oh, the Sea Emperor Juvenile. doesn't even have a threat level on there. So that's how it grows. Now, this is like one of the only two things I ever in my life considered cute ever in my life. When I was younger, Pikachu. Now this is my only thing. I don't know why. Just its face. Kind of reminds you of a sea dragon, slightly, but not exactly. A juvenile emperor specimen. It is producing a highly potent form of enzyme 42, which should be capable of fully curing individuals of the alien bacterium. The species hatches relatively fully formed and independent, perhaps reflecting the fact they must fend for themselves when they are first born away from their parents. This specimen is healthy and exhibiting signs of a positive attitude to life. Good. Sea Shredder Leviathan. Slightly dangerous, but not very. A fast bipedal leviathan which roams the reefs in herds, grazing the seafloor. Now you may say, bipedal? It has 3 legs! You'll see in a second that ye are wrong. Number 3. Alright, and number 1, antennae. Antennae on the creature's head can detect a range of scents. I don't even know why. I always forget those. Helping the sea shredders to find fresh grazing pastures, avoid the path of large predators, and sense chemical signals from other kinds. So they're basically giant underwater cows, which look really weird. Let's go with that. Carapace. Thick armor protects the creature from attack by all but the largest of carnivores. 2 legs extend from the rear. So it's kind of exoskeleton as well. Elongated. Now here we are. Used to siphon plant material from seafloor and maintain balance. All right. Yeah, because it looked like it would fall over. Behavior. Large herds would decimate the flora of a single area, thus encouraging sea shredders' migratory behavior. Families keep their young towards the center of the herd, and parents will lash out at curious interlopers in search of an easy meal. So they'll kick anything, like you, that they think might be dangerous. Assessment: sea shredder herds may unearth mineral deposits as they churn up the sand. They also poop, and you can use it as fertilizer. I'm serious. Alright, scavengers and parasites. Amoeboid. This is a scavenger or parasite? A simple, non-sentient organism. This is fauna? This isn't a plant? Found attached to land with high levels of fossilized organic material. It feeds on this matter until it reaches maturity, at which point it divides to create 2 new genetically identical offspring, and the cycle continues. So it's basically a giant cell, which is really cool. Ancient floater. The biggest floater you've ever seen with its crazy tentacles. Biodata suggests these vast floaters are matured into ingenious symbiosis with the land they have attached to. The attached landmass is raising the water, increasing sunlight, and encouraging plant growth. As older plants decay, organic residues and nutrients seep into the rock and are consumed by the floater. These circumstances must have held for thousands of years for a floater to reach this size. So it takes thousands of years for something to happen like this. Life cycle. Immature floaters are born near the surface, from where they sink to the seabed, attaching to any stable surface they find on the way. I thought they're called floaters. Those individuals fortunate enough to attach to a digestible nutrient source will grow in size. thus increasing their buoyancy and drawing whatever they are attached to closer to the surface. Sorry. In extreme circumstances, a number of floaters may attach to a Leviathan class life form, forcing it to the surface and effectively asphyxiating it. So making it suffocate because it's in the surface and it can't breathe because it has gills. The body will be consumed over a number of months until eventually dissolving, leaving the floaters free to attach to a new host. Okay. So this thing is a parasite. Or, yeah, it's a parasite. Oh my gosh. Those... Assessment incredible. Those creatures which successfully raise a landmass to the surface are rewarded with a burgeoning and permanent food supply, allowing them to finally reproduce and begin the cycle again. Bleeder, I hate these things. Before I didn't even know they had weird tentacles. A simple parasitic organism. Look at the danger level. I actually thought it would be bigger. A little more complex than the space tick. Than the common space tick. But just as dirty. There's a space tick? Ew. Ductile sac. Used for collection and digestion of blood drawn from host creatures. On jaw, rows of teeth and mandibles used to attach to the skin of its victims. Ew. Okay, behavior. The bleeder's low speed and poor defenses suggest they have evolved prime. Oh my gosh. Carrion feeders, so basically dead meat, but they're also prone to target larger living creatures, which they are less likely to notice and take action against this parasite. Inconvenient and unhygienic. Avoid or incapacitate. Okay, blood crawler. Man, I hate these things. These ones live in the blood kelp. But cave crawlers are annoying too. These things are what's more dangerous? Oh my goodness! These things are more dangerous than a cave crawler. An agile territorial scavenger that moves and packs across the seabed, closely related to the amphibious cave crawler, but adapted to deep sea conditions. Legs. The greatest difference between the crawlers on 4.6b are the forelegs, which extend more than a meter from the blood crawler's torso. Wow. Allowing it to allowing it to move at surprising speeds across the seabed, even the scale walls. Torso. A blood crawler can lower its entire body to bring its mandibles in grasping distance of the carrion which it feeds. While retaining the maneuverability it requires to avoid its predators. Necessary waste recycler. Avoid or incapacitate. So feed any waste to it. Same thing with a cave crawler. Agile which we're doing right now. Agile territorial carrion feeder. Well adapted to both land and sea. By the way, these things are both dangerous. They will try to kill you, so watch out. Well adapted to both land and sea. Gas exchange membrane. Absorbs essential gases from air or water for basic bodily regulation. Alright. Okay. The species seeks out corpses and packs before defending its claim when the corpse is devoured. Avoid or necessary waste recycler. Avoid or incapacitate. Now these things actually ate part of the humans on the Aurora, which is creepy. Floater. Threat level 0. Two species living in symbiosis which attach to and attempt to feed on any objects they come into contact with. So they're actually two creatures. Dominant life form: the pink main body, an inner suction jaw, is the dominant creature. Once attached to an organism or other stable stable surface, it will attempt to leach nutrients in order to grow. See, it's least like mouth. Microorganism membrane. The outer gel-like substance is a mesh of microorganisms capable of forming a sealed vacuum around the creature's jaws. Alright. Helium buffer. A thin layer of helium is stored within the outer membrane, providing buoyancy to the floater and anything it is attached to. Oh my gosh. How long has this video been? 45 minutes. We're going to have to end this and then finish up with flora next video. Alright, may aid in flotation of sunken objects. Good. Lava larva, like no threat at all. This thing's weird. Look at its mouth. A grub-like species which appears to lack sight and smell, but it is able to sense and drain thermal and electrical energy in its immediate environment. Suction cup, capable of attaching to smooth surfaces and generating high-pressure suction, will release it if it comes under sufficient strain. Kind of like it can grab onto a cyclops. Not a cyclops. Prawn suit. Or a sea moth. The glass improving your, getting rid of your vision. Torso, thick scales protect it from extreme temperatures. The lava larva lacks a traditional digestive system. Instead, it powers its internal processes directly from the energy it consumes. Behavior: attracted to energy of all sorts of kinds. Draws energy from its prey to survive. This thing has prey? Okay. Avoid when piloting vehicles. Remove to conserve batteries. Oh my gosh. So, this thing gets rid of your electricity. Oh my gosh. So they had a whole bunch of creatures. It's crazy how they have a whole bunch of creatures. Different creatures. Which, and they have, just for a little tiny, thing in the game that they need. And they have a whole backstory. They have a whole scientific thing about it. That's one of the reasons I love this game. Now look at the weird little rock grub. No danger whatsoever, but looks like a beast. This thing would be terrifying if it were bigger. This small, I almost saw like someone made like a giant rock grub that was like bigger than the Aurora. And it's really like smaller, it's like smaller than your finger. Really crazy. A small luminescent scavenger, roughly thumb-sized. Also, it's almost the size of your thumb. This creature, maybe a distant relative of the sand shark, sharing that species' unusual limbs, segmented exoskeleton, burrowing behavior. Jaw. Its circular set of teeth is designed to tear out clumps of coral and seagrass caught in the rocks. Limbs: 5 legs, 2 arms. My back is hurting now. And a large flipper. Allow the rock grub to cling and walk across rock faces in search of food, and swiftly swim to safety when under attack. Cool. Green luminescence. Glowing green in the dark would seem like a poor survival strategy, but this adaptation may be a mating behavior or other specialized process engaged in by only a fraction of the total population at any one time, or perhaps or being eaten is simply part of the rock grub's life cycle. Harmless. My guess is the only reason they even made this stupid creature is because they wanted a little bit extra lighting. That's my guess. I don't know. And finally, something that hold on. Shuttlebugs are dangerous? Look at the threat level. Watch it move. Watch it move. It's slightly dangerous. What? What? The rock grubs. Dangerous? It says harmless. I think they just made like a little bit of a mistake while trying to make this. I think it's just like that. They've kind of failed to make it at the bottom. I'm not sure. Mouth parts small enough to be little threat to most organisms. This creature is clearly adapted to feed on waste products of the ecosystem around it. 3 mandibles. It's clearly adapted to feed. Oh, jeez. 3 mandibles used to orient themselves when drifting and to filter through detritus cave floors. 3 legs. High strength muscles can propel the life form great distances through the water, as well as ambulating them across the seafloor. Assessment necessary waste recycler presence may indicate nearby cave systems. And we're done with this episode because it just gets too long every single time. I know you guys are kind of getting a little bit mad at me because how can you get a cooked magma ring? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know you could do that. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna read some of these. Foods, so calorie count. Hard to keep down. Oh, like it's gross. Huh. Extremely spicy, high in fluids. Cooked oculus. Dark, dense meat, a good meal. Cooked fish, never eat the antennae. Cooked spinefish, never eat the antennae. Salting has given flesh a mousse-like whole fish. Wait. I haven't scanned a whole fish. Oh man. That's one thing I forgot. Spawn whole. Hey. Spawn whole fish. There it is. I haven't scanned this thing yet. I'm disappointed in myself. Alright, the final one, whole fish, a very small herbivore found in low numbers, often around the cave systems entrances where their skin coloration blends into the background. Bored out tail fin. By manipulating the size and shape of the hole in its tail can perform unpredictable maneuvers. Size smaller than most other herbivores, presumably due to lack of vegetation and low level light environments. Assessment edible, as all small herbivores are. Now guys, that is now the end of the video. If you guys did indeed enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and liking my subscribing to my channel and liking my video. If you and also try out Phantom Hunter 176, the Chazman Gaming, and Ultra Screen Boss. So look. Hello, Mr. Peeper. So yep, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.